New tonight, we're learning an audit of the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office that began 2 years ago is finally getting some traction. Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick says St. Louis's new circuit attorney, Gabe Gore, is fully complying with his request for information. Our Christine Byers tells us when voters can expect to see the findings.
The St. Louis Board of Aldermen requested a citywide audit in 2018. All of the audits are now done except the Circuit Attorney's Office.
And it has just been delay after delay after delay under former Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner.
Missouri Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick says Gardner's administration hired private attorneys to fight his office's requests for documents.
For every hour we waste arguing with the outside lawyers that Kim Gardner had hired about what documents to produce for us, that is money that is getting billed to the city, and the city taxpayers are footing that bill.
Fitzpatrick says his office upped the ante and started filing subpoenas for records and documents. And he says when the information did start coming back, it was not complete.
One example that I can share is like a credit card statement where they had purchased an airline ticket for somebody whose name was redacted out, as well as the location they were traveling to was redacted out. Well, to determine if that is an appropriate use of the office's funds, we would need to know who was traveling, where were they traveling, what were they traveling for.
Gardner unexpectedly resigned 2 weeks before she said she would in June. Fitzpatrick says he was going to go to court to force her to fully comply with subpoenas that day.
She knew that was the deadline and ended up resigning on that day, so we didn't end up going to court to enforce the subpoena.
Now he says the governor's appointee to replace Gardner, Gabe Gore, is fully cooperating.
And so that's just the dynamic shift in terms of the productivity of the audit and the amount of information we're able to access to help get to the bottom of what was going on in the circuit attorney's office and why it was being so poorly managed.
Fitzpatrick says audits typically take about a year to complete, but says his office won't have this one done until next spring or summer. To learn more about Fitzpatrick's review, read Christine's story under the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com.